What is going on, everyone? And today we're going to be working with Adobe Illustrator, and we're going to be covering a couple of things that are going to be new tools that you need to learn, and that's going to be the shape builder tool, the shapes tool, the direct selection tool, the selection tool, and fill and outlines. And that's pretty much all that we're going to need in order to be able to complete this assignment. So the first thing that I want to do is, well, I already have it copied, but I'm going to paste this house. I'm going to be using this house as an example. So once you have your house in your artboard, I'll kind of explain how to do all that later in person, but you'll put your house in here, right? And we're going to go ahead and head over to these three little lines under layers, and we're going to put template right there, template, and then that's going to lock the layer, and we can go down here and create a new layer. That's just going to prohibit us from moving the house around or accidentally grabbing it and doing whatever we don't want to do with it, right? So let's go over the tools. We've got the selection tool right here. That's going to be your black mouse, and that's going to be pretty simple. You make a square, you grab your selection tool, that allows you to move your selection, right? You select it, and then you can move it around, right? Selection tool. That's the very first one right here. Then we have the direct selection tool. The direct selection tool, you notice if you click on it, you still be able to move him around. However, something different about the direct selection tool is that it allows you to directly select individual points. So for example, I have the square right here, and if I want to, I can just click on this square right here, and I can move that around. Or I could move this one around, right? It allows me to select individual points. If I wanted to select 2 points at once, I can just do this. And then I can select those two and kind of do whatever I wanted with that, right? If I wanted to select 3 points at once, I can go in here and just hold shift. And then I can move it with those 3 points at once, right? So shift and click on the points that allow you to move individual points, or select just 1 point, or select multiple points, and then you can do multiple movements at once, right? So that is the direct selection in a nutshell. It allows you to select the individual points and then move those individual points, right? Then we have the fill and the outlines tool, or the shape tool, right? So the shape tool is this one right here, which I used to use a rectangle. And then we also have a circle. And then we also have a polygon tool, which is this one right here. Also for the polygon tool, if you click once, it'll ask you how many sides you want. So you could actually do 3 and make a triangle. You also have the star tool, which same rules apply. You can click and you can create more points if you wanted to. And then the line segment, which essentially just creates a line, right? Now all these shapes currently, they're all white. And so how do you color these shapes in, right? So you select the shape, and you'll notice right here that you have what's called fill and stroke. So fill is the color you're going to fill in the shape with, and stroke is going to be the outline. So you have 2 right here. So fill this, and you can change it to black. And if I wanted to, I can select the outline, add a color. Right now the color is set to black. I can make that be white. And now as you can see, I have a white outline with a black fill. Same thing with the arrows. I can reverse it. So I can have a fill that's white and a black outline. Or I can double click and then change my outline to red. Or I can just choose right here, none. And it gives me no outline, right? That'll allow me to kind of control how I want to design these shapes, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and delete those. The last thing we're gonna be doing is probably the most complicated one, and that is the shape builder tool. Now the shape builder tool allows you to kind of tweak these shapes in specific ways, right? So let's give you an example. Let's say, for example, we are going to grab our shape tool and we want to do a circle. Let's say we want to create a moon, right? We want a moon shape, right? And we do something like this, and we bring this in here. And notice that the shapes, as they overlap, they create this moon shape right here, right? If we grab our shape builder tool, in order for this to work, both shapes that we created need to be selected, right? If you only select one, the shape builder is not going to do anything, right? Okay, you need to be able to select both. And then now that I have both selected, I can individually select those parts that are overlapping. So if I hold Alt on my keyboard, notice that that plus sign turns into a negative. So I can just go in here and delete. And that gives me a moon shape, right? This will be important because in some of these areas of the houses, we might need to do stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start with our house here. And this is just going to be a tutorial, so you don't necessarily need to make the house just like this one. You can create yours from the ones that I chose. But notice what I'm doing right here. This is going to come this way. This is going to come over here. And then control plus and control minus to zoom in, and the space bar to move around. And then I'm going to select this guy here and just bring him in like that. Right, so that's going to give me this little shape right here. If I select it and I hold Alt on my keyboard, that allows me to make an exact copy. Right, then I can go over to properties and flip horizontal, and it'll give me this side right here. Now it doesn't look like it's a perfect shape here, so we do need to select this and bring it upwards just like so. Right, now this right here creates this section, and you notice that there is a line right here that's separating them both, right? Okay, so just like in the shape builder, when we selected Alt and it turns into a negative, if you hold Shift, it'll turn into a positive, and I can click on both of those and it merges them and it creates one solid shape, right? So now if I wanted to, I can go in here, add an outline, make that outline kind of dark bluish, and then we have the top of this house, right? We can do the same thing for this little triangle right here. So again, let's go ahead and do it so you guys can kind of see. Do that. I'm going to remove the outline for now. Don't need it. Come here and move these guys in this direction. Move this one in this direction. It's kind of hard to make this perfect, but we'll try our best. Again, you can hold Alt to copy it, flip it, bring it this way. That's a pretty good one. Hold both of them. Make sure that you're selecting both. I'm using Shift to select both, and then Shift to merge these. And then now they're merged. And we want the same color here, so we're going to use our eyedropper tool, and that's going to copy the same color. As long as this is selected, eyedropper tool, and it copies the shape, right? So now we bring this one here. That needs to go in the back, so we can actually select both of these. Or maybe just select this one here, and we can adjust this so that it kind of matches with the one we currently have. And there we go. We now have that shape right there. We can now go in here and do this one right here. All right, for now we're going to remove this, or maybe not. I guess we can leave it. And then we're going to create the little rectangles that go in the middle. So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to do this, but we're going to switch it and remove that one. And then we're going to make a copy of this, and we're going to rotate it and then just bring it here. So now both of these will arrange. We'll bring to the front and bring it here. By the way, what I just did under our layers, you can see that we have a couple of different layers here, right? And these two guys, if they were below, we wouldn't be able to see them. So we're going to bring them over to the top so we can be able to see them. We're going to select all of these, and we're going to adjust these so that they are move them there. Move this here. Move this here. And move this here. All right. So with that being said, that allows us to be able to create most of this house. Then we need to do a rectangle. This rectangle needs to be about this size right here. Actually, it can be the entire size right here. And we're going to bring this part all the way up, right? We're going to select this, and we're going to go into our shape builder tool. Again, we're selecting all of this to erase this, erase that. Nope, we want that. We want to keep that. And then now we can go to our layers and move this below. We can bring it here. This will actually be set to white, just like so. Here we can shift this. There we go. So that gives us that part of the house. Now, are these white too? No, they're kind of yellow with that blue. So we're going to grab this blue, copy, okay. And then we're going to add that blue. And then we're going to make this one be the same as that one. Bring this here. And bring this one here. And as you can see, that's bringing the house together little by little. And so the goal is for you guys to try to create the rest of your house. Remember using the direct selection tool. So for areas like this, where you need to kind of tweak the shape, you can do so by just moving this way. And you can do so by moving this one here. And then we can just grab that brown. And that would be what goes here. You can then move this down and it'll go behind that entire triangle. Something like that. And then you just keep building the rest and the rest and the rest. Hopefully this makes a little bit of sense. Again, simple things like this one right here where there will be circles. You can grab one circle. And then you can grab a bigger circle. Like there is a way that you can create this little loop. I don't remember how to do it. But as long as you have something like this, we'll be fine. And just remember, you want to merge them. And now they're merged. Ah, I wish I could remember how to do that. Was it here? Yeah, I don't remember how to do that little part. Oh, there it goes. There we go. Okay, so let me do that again so you guys can see. So with my direct selection tool, I selected this part right here, and then you see this little circle right here that allows you to kind of curve it. You click here and then curve that, right? And then that gives you those little kind of bushes right there that you can kind of create and copy. But yeah, that'll be how you kind of go about doing this. If you guys have any issues, let me know. I think the houses that I chose for you guys are a little bit easier. Some of them are a little bit complicated, but I'm giving you the option to kind of play around and see if you guys can do it better than me. All right. Thank you. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask me, and I'll see you guys on the next one.